I'd like you to picture a woman. She's 39 years old and a lifelong professional. She married at the age of 28, has two children, and another one on the way. In the past 5 years alone, she's begun a new professional position, published 3 books, given birth to 2 daughters, and suffered the death of another. In part because she was already a best-selling author, she was the first person hired for and most successful contributor to a prestigious national project. Despite this, she will spend most of her professional career fighting to make equal pay as her less experienced male colleagues. Does this woman sound familiar? She might not seem all that unusual. You might recognize her in someone you know or even in yourself. She might seem like the epitome of a woman leaning in to both her professional and personal lives. What might surprise you is that this woman's name is Marianne Everett Green, and the year is 1857. Now, whoever you pictured when I described the circumstances of Marianne's life, the first thing that came to mind probably wasn't the Victorian era. In popular representations and even much academic literature, Victorian women are still depicted as the angel in the house, passive observers rather than active participants in public life. But in reality, many Victorian women did not conform to such a limited role. Marianne is by no means alone among women who helped shape the emerging role of the Victorian professional, not least of which in a newly emerging academic field of history. The process of the professionalization of history has often been described as a concurrently masculine one from which women were excluded, but I argue that this is not the case. Women were actually active publishers of historical texts. They contributed to academic journals and even taught history at schools like Cambridge and Oxford to both male and female students. Women also helped create new fields like social, cultural, and economic history. The slide shows changing conceptions of women, from Queen Victoria leaning over Albert's shoulder as he read, to participating in the space of the British Library alongside male colleagues and other researchers. The goal of my work is to show these new aspects of Victorian women and their role in the professionalization of history, and to remove their marginalization as part of a separate women's history, but instead include them in a more general narrative of the many identities of Victorian historian. Those of us studying history today, and women studying history in particular, are indebted to these women's pioneering efforts in shaping the field of history. Women like Marianne Everett Green, who were willing to lean in to new ideas of professional and personal success in the Victorian era, made it possible for those of us who have come after to do the same. Thank you.